After the ball is over, after the skein is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 456. Today is Saturday, May 29th, 2021, as we are recording. My name is Marlisha.
My name is Talia.
And I'm also known as Lady Furnico.
I was a little confused. Like, wait a second. I'm also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
Okay. And we want to welcome you all to the Foon in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad you found us, and we hope you find something that you like and that you'll stay with us. And if you are returning, we're always glad to have you back. If you are new or returning and you are in the shadows, please feel free, if you'd like, to join us officially by, tapping the little bell and pressing the subscription button. Subscribe?
Yep, subscribe. I'm just going to move this a smidge.
So that you'll get notifications. Excuse me. You'll get notifications.
No excuses.
And if you want to be able to take part in the alongs and have all the fun with the
Foon.
The Foon, with the alongs and the giveaways and camaraderie and all that kind of stuff, that takes place in our PHN homepage, and that the link is in the description box. It's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net, and it's down in the little description box below this video. Okay, how many projects do you have?
I have 10.
Okay, well, you get to go first.
How many do you have?
7.
7, okay. I don't know how I got 10.
And I don't, just...
So, let me go ahead and stir my tea. What?
Too
Did you
full.
spill?
A little too full.
Story of your life.
But it always goes away, and I'm too lazy to make 2 cups, Emma.
We used to do that way back when we used to have the itty-bitty cups.
Yes.
That's why you never see the PHN cups anymore.
Right.
Because that was back before we used the 14 or 16 ounces. So that is why. Okay, so in my, Pummel Duck says that this bunny looks like a Chester. So in my Chester mug.
Cute little Chester. But he's not pouring the coffee.
No, he's not pouring the coffee.
I'm sorry, that's an inside joke for our family. If you watch Gunsmoke, you'll understand.
Yeah, because it seems like Chester's always getting the coffee.
Which he tries to mutilate.
Oh, that's right. He always does something
like
weird to
chicory
it.
or something like that.
You're right. Probably because it's something they used to do in Victorian times and things like that, where they would try to make it go farther, so they went to buy more by adding stuff to it. Like they would add, like, the worst stuff to flour, to bread and stuff. Like,
which is not coffee.
I think they added like chalk and like things like
Just
that.
because it looks like flour doesn't mean it is flour
Well,
or should be
it
in
wasn't the buyers; it was the guy selling. But
good heavens, can you imagine if they knew about Elmer's glue or whatever? They
probably would have used.
Oh my gosh, I know they used it for advertising and stuff.
Yeah, but so Chester's probably just trying to make it go a little bit farther because he doesn't have a ton of money. Anyway, in my Chester mug is my Plum Deluxe tea. I'm drinking Fog Cutter black tea. Clear through the emotional clutter and focus on your dreams. It's Assam black tea, Ceylon black tea, African black tea, Darjeeling black tea, lemon peel, love and gratitude.
A little bit of black tea in there. I guess the lemon peel
I think
to bleach it.
I think the only thing I'm missing is black tea.
Black tea, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they said that they add, I think they take out the lemon later, but in Italy when they make their gelato, they make it with egg, I guess, to make it more rich. But to combat that eggy taste, so that all the flavors taste like egg, they put lemon in there as well. And
that's
apparently
interesting.
that like evens it out so you don't just taste egg for everything.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I thought that was very interesting. That was a Curiosity Stream documentary But you had to be able to watch the subtitles for that because they're just going off in Italian.
Apparently, you're just going to get random bits of information today. Okay.
I already know she doesn't particularly care for this one.
I gave you mine.
Yeah. And this is one that you bought me here.
It's one that, because it tastes so much, I think it tastes like Irish breakfast.
Which I love.
I can drink this. I do like it, but I don't need a whole bunch of it.
Fog Cutter is his Irish breakfast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's very good. I just don't drink a lot of it because when I generally drink something like that is if I'm eating breakfast or something because I have a lot on my stomach. It's not that I don't like the taste. I tend to get a little nauseous afterward if my stomach is empty.
Oh. But
so
this used to be, when I was still drinking bag teas, I used to drink, Irish breakfast used to be one of my favorites. So it's no shock that I love Fog Cutter.
Now, we're both eating a stroopwafel.
And which one are you doing?
Whatever I have left. I think it's the...
you don't have any lemons, so...
No, I think it's
cinnamon.
Cinnamon, yeah.
Okay, and I have
because it's not that was the old one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there would be cinnamon.
Yeah. And my tea is Plum Deluxe tea.
Sorry, this making noise.
Chocolate mint, like the cookie oolong tea. And this is oolong tea, which I really like. Black tea, cocoa pieces, cocoa peel, peppermint, roasted coconut chips, vanilla, mint essence, and this has caffeine. And Laura Constant, when we were doing our Zoom, made a comment that I didn't realize because I was just not realizing such things, that this can soothe your stomach. And I said, oh yeah, it has mint in it. So another reason for me to like it. This is one that I run out of it and I buy more. The minute I do.
I just want to show this because every once in a while I like to show this is a gluten-free, dairy-free brand. All their stroopwafels, and they have 4 flavors.
The Sweet Amsterdam.
Yeah, Sweet Amsterdam. They have 4 flavors. It's 3 flavors. Cinnamon, caramel, speculoos spice. Oh no, they have 4. Chocolate banana and lemon bar. This is a lemon bar. And Sweet Amsterdam, completely gluten-free, dairy-free.
And I like all of them, but the one I probably could leave behind is the chocolate one because the banana is so strong.
It
tastes like that candy.
Yeah, like when when as a kid you go buy that thing where you put a coin in, you can either get a toy or get candy, and those fruit candies, the hard candies are always in there, and you always want them as a kid. And for some reason, the banana as a kid seemed really excellent. Because it had a fun shape and
it was bright.
And as a kid, you're like, yeah, this tastes really good. It's actually one of my favorites, although I did like the red ones too at that time.
All right, excuse me. I know we keep saying we're going to do the national park. We'll probably end up doing it sometime next month. The tea with the national park. Just things got hectic, and I didn't get a chance to sit down with Taya and talk about which one we're going to talk about. Yeah. So, I mean, we know the order we're doing it. We just didn't have a chance to look up the information.
Yeah.
So,
to make sure we do it one of our tea times.
Yeah. Okay, now, let's see. We are starting to open up in terms of what we can do in Virginia. We actually can go back to church tomorrow, which is nice. I got to go to Adoration for a visit yesterday with my husband, which was nice. So now any donations you start sending in for the pregnancy center, we can take right to the pregnancy center if you feel like doing it. Okay?
Yeah,
we're starting to be willing to take in more donations and stuff, so they're not just sitting in our house. Let's see. So that includes the things that will go to Evan's house, which is taken care of by our local yarn shop person. That's Laura Gavis.
That'll be
Knitter's Magic.
It's going to be helpful for her business that everything's opening up again.
Yes, she was very inventive. She's amazing.
Yes, she is.
So she's really something else. She's amazing. So that's where we take the Evans home thing. She's our contact person for that. And as far as the pregnancy center, we'd take that directly to the pregnancy center. The comfort and craft stuff, don't send it to us. Send it directly to Brittany.
Yeah.
Okay. She can tell you how to do it. And that's the same thing for the Amelia project. That's VT Kimmy Kim, and you want to send it directly to her. There's no sense in us, wasting postage 2 ways. So just send it directly to her. You can contact her on our PHN home.
There's a way to message people.
Okay. Now the alongs we are doing. We got 3 alongs going right now. Is that right? No, 2. 3. We have 3 going.
We have the Comforting Crafts, we have Autism Awareness.
And Christmas.
And Christmas, which is the all year long.
Okay, so the Christmas all year long Cowl Lao started January 1st of 2021, and it goes through the entire year, which means it ends at midnight Eastern Standard Time on the December 31st. So once you hit January 2nd, it's over with. And as we say, the caveat is, if it's open, because we may not be awake at midnight on January 1st, you're going to January 1st of
Chances
2022.
are I will be awake, but
You might
I
be,
won't.
yeah.
I'm usually awake now at midnight, but
Right, and we do have.
I just don't remember.
We do have a person who is overseas who might be able to take care of it, but if we're not up, you might have a few gratis hours. However, if you really want to have all your chances at a prize, then you want to make sure that you put it in well before that midnight deadline. We want you to get all chances at a prize.
If we make sure that, like, when we know it's going to be closing, if I might need a reminder, so I write a sticky note, and when I'm set my computer, if it's sitting right in front of me, I'll probably remember then to.
I don't mind them having. I don't mind them having a little bit of extra time.
But just sort of as I said, I'm not just depending on our moderators to close everything. I'm actually doing something. Shocker.
Yes. So just wanted to give you a heads up. We want to make sure that you get all the chances that you should get. Okay, because we like giving out prizes. We have wonderful donations that we want to give homes to. So please make sure you get them all in. Okay?
Yes.
Let's see, what do we have here? Now, those of you who've been with us for a while know that I tend to read the first set of rules, and then I just kind of do the changes for the others. So this time it's a little bit different because we have one along that's not ours, and so I will read that as well. Okay? Now, for the PHN Christmas All Year Long Cowl Lao, projects must be knit, loom knit, or crochet. Not lit. Knit, loom knit, or crochet. Previous whips are allowed, but must be worked on during the along. Chatter and pictures are all in the same thread. 1 whip per project per week. For those of you who are new, a whip is a work in progress. The FO whenever it's completed. FO is a finished object. No PhDs, project half dones, are not finished objects. Okay? Okay. You can put it as a whip.
You can't count your single sock as...
Or your single mitt.
Yeah. Unless that was all you're planning to make.
Right. If it was a shop sample, then that would be acceptable.
But
you just put it down in the thing.
If you were planning to make 2.
And...
Because I know, like I said, there are some people who they dye yarn, or they know someone who dyes yarn and they need to make them a sample.
Right. So that would be acceptable. Just notate it.
Yeah.
Okay? We do have prizes, and I've mentioned them before, but I'm not going to mention it right this instant. Any FOs in Franciscan Gypsies design, I am going to remember, Stephanie, any FOs in Franciscan Gypsies designs, patterns, Lady Fernicle Creations yarn, or my One Shawl pattern, Lollipop Girl yarns, or Laura Concert designs patterns are eligible for 2 chances at a prize for the finished object only. And if you use my yarn or Laura's yarn with a featured pattern, my one pattern, Talia's patterns, or Laura's patterns, then you get 3 chances at a prize for the finished object only, and you are responsible for your own multiple postings. Yes. Okay? The hashtag is hashtag PHN Christmas All Year 2021 on Instagram. And, I forgot to mention, because we thought about it afterward, Operation Christmas Child projects, the Pregnancy Center projects, if they're done in Christmas colors or whatever, if you're giving it to someone as a gift, that is also considered 2 chances at a prize. The normal parameters apply. Okay, it kind of stretches out our charity along a little bit in some ways. If an FO uses 50 yards, and this is across the board, 50 yards or less, you need to post it with another project that's 50 yards or more. Okay.
And for those who are just coming in, maybe this is the first episode. Last year's All Year Long
was a charity
long, which is what Mom was referencing.
Now, projects that are made predominantly Christmas colors of shades of red, blue, green, silver, gold, purple, and pink, along with white or colors, are eligible for 2 chances at a prize. They are there for those people, especially who do not celebrate Christmas. Okay, we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to join us. We want all of our PHN families to join us. Okay, if they want to.
Yeah.
Okay, and all this is in the PHN home thread for this. All right. Quarter 2 prizes will be this is one prize is pink cotton yarn, cloudborne yarn. Excuse me, with a small pink bag. That's one prize, and then the other one is Plymouth yarn. I don't know if this Galloway is the color or it's the base. It's 3 skeins of yarn. I believe it's a blue skein with stripes. Okay. Now, Autism Awareness. You guys got some information. I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, so we're just going to go through the rules for this.
Yeah.
Basically, everything is the same. Okay, it's just to make you think about autism awareness. Okay, autism. Okay, and Asperger's and all the things on the spectrum. The changes for this is it has to be bright colors. About 85% bright colors. You can have accent colors of black and somber colors and all that, but it must be predominantly bright. Now, we're not going to go there and say, oh, this looks like it's 60%. No.
Yeah.
Okay, no. You guys,
It's eyeballed.
you guys are fine.
Yeah.
So please make it predominantly bright colored. Blue is, I keep forgetting.
But if you do like black and you only have one stripe of bright pink,
It's
like
gonna-
an
yeah,
itty stripe,
it's gonna be-
that's not going to be counted.
it'll be put somewhere else. One of the moderators or one of us will put it in the show off thread or something, okay? If it's that way. Somber colors or predominantly black or something like that.
I
would
mean,
go
as
somewhere.
cool as that would look.
It would look cool, but it wouldn't be autism awareness.
Yes.
I keep forgetting to mention, although it is in the notes, I believe, blue, especially bright blues. That's an autism color as well. Okay. This runs April 1st through June 30th. So we have another month to go. We are 2/3 of the way through. The featured patterns and featured yarns are the same as they were for the other along that I just mentioned, the Christmas along, but the colors are bright. The colors of the Christmas along are not necessarily the colors here. What we want here are the bright yarns, okay? My yarn, Laura Concert yarn, those are the featured yarns. My pattern, Laura's pattern, Talia's pattern, the Braided Bright by George, who is 10 hours or less, and the Weighted Lapgan, I think it is, and
I think
Teddy
it
Bear. That is by Miss World, who is now known as a Modest Creation, and I think she's on Etsy. I don't know if she's still on Ravelry. Those are all eligible for 2 chances of the prize pattern with the bright yarn. A featured yarn is 3 chances of the prize. Usual stuff applies. Hashtag PHN AA 2021 on Instagram. Okay, and it's knitted, loom knitted, or crocheted. All right. Let me see. We already said all that. Did all that. I'm impressed. The one prize that I keep mentioning, I know we have others, but I haven't had a chance to pull them. I should just put that on record. Donated by Looney Hiker, who's Pat. She's a very talented designer, and she donated one of her patterns, the winner's choice of her pattern. Okay, and she's on, I want to say she's on Lovecrafts and on Ravelry. Okay, I don't think she's on Etsy. She should get on Etsy. Yes, Pat, you should get on Etsy if you're not.
She's on Etsy.
She is?
I found her shop.
Oh, you did?
I'm pretty sure it was her.
I found her on Lovecraft.
Maybe maybe it was Lovecraft I found her on.
Yeah.
I thought it was Etsy.
Are you going to be able to do this?
I'm doing it.
Okay, because you look like you're fading.
I'm having some difficulty, but usually I do catch a second wind usually at some point.
Okay. Well, I'm doing all the talking, so I'm not sure why you're tired.
It's part. It's
Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. Comfort Along. This is not our baby. This is Wombat of Doom and Brittany, who is B-Wing. Okay, so Patty and Brittany. This, I'm going to read the rules because this is not our stuff. We are the platform, and we wholeheartedly support this. The thread is in our group, and we will pull the prizes for them, okay? This runs from March 1st through June 30th, so you've got another month to go with this as well. No previous whips are allowed, so the whips had to be started March 1st or later. They can be knitted, crocheted, or loom knit. Specific items that they're concentrating on: dishcloths, washcloths, and hats. Hat sizes can be from young child through adult, and there's a greater need for boys, colors, or gender neutral, so they ask that you please keep that in mind. Doesn't mean you can't do lady stuff, but please keep in mind that they need a lot of the neutral and the gentleman type stuff, okay? Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread, 1 whip per project per week, the FO whenever it's completed. If you are also in the Comforting Crafts Facebook group, feel free to post your pictures there as well, but the prizes will be from PHN, okay, in our group. Right now they have several prizes. They have 2 skeins of Dishy yarn, dishcloth pattern booklets, and handmade greeting cards by Brittany. Yay! And we are donating. I'm donating yarn, and Talia's donating a pattern book, her Tortoise versus Hare pattern book. Okay. Let's see here. The hashtag for Instagram will be PHN Comfort Along 2021, and you contact Brittany for the mailing address for the completed items. And you can find her. You can contact her either through Facebook or through our group.
Okie dokie. So, guess that leads us on to projects.
Rough drafts.
Hoping to finish these last few stitches. Not quite sure how I probably been working only a little bit on things here and there because I can't imagine how I got as much as I got worked on.
I get to finally finish my strip waffle.
Yay. Okay, let me bring up my show notes. It's on my Google Drive, so give me a sec there. Whoops, that's on it. Let's see. Unstart that. That was confusing. There we go. Alrighty. So, first one. Oh, I don't know why I looked at my notes because it's always the design first.
Yep.
Still working on the one design because I'm really trying to get this done before Christmas for Davina. She knows about it.
She knows about it, yeah.
She's
been good about not pestering you, hasn't she?
She's been pretty good about that, yeah, because she sees me working on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've told her it's the only design I'm working on. And I think it helps that I've also made her other things.
Right.
During the period of time. It's, so.
She's very knitworthy.
She's very knitworthy.
You should see, I go downstairs to start the laundry, and you see all her little socks hanging from the, line.
And she's usually wearing one of the hats I made her. She really loves her
mitts.
Her Quicksilver, what she calls her I was shocked at when she opened that how excited she was because she knew it was coming. So I really thought that she'd be more excited about it. I think it was the hat that where it was your yarn and I designed it for her. She was more excited about her mitts in my older pattern.
My yarn, but her pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets all the stuff.
She usually likes the accoutrement.
Accoutrement.
But she actually has really liked. She's worn the hood more than I thought she would. That I made her. But anyway, that has nothing to do with the project in here.
She's been wearing the hood a lot.
Yeah, she has. Because she can wear it with pink and red because it's kind of that. She doesn't wear a ton of red.
I need a picture of that.
Yeah, because that's in your yarn.
Courtly yarn.
Courtly Love. It was a lot of fun to work with. I really enjoyed working with that yarn, and I have a couple skeins left.
Well, the idea was for you to do a
design in
it.
But I'm really glad I didn't. She looks so cute in it.
She does.
And it's more pink than I realized, and I'm not a huge pink girl. But anyway, this is my Peanuts Christmas bag. It always holds a Christmas stocking. I have plans to design Mom a Christmas stocking after this one's done. Now that won't be...
There's no rush on it.
Quite as rushed. I need to put some other patterns before that. But I want to get it, at least started.
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned because I can't put anything in that stocking, the one she made me. That stays out all year. Okay. My first one
Dad really likes color work.
Yes, he does. My first one is my in my Plover Bird Mickey Mouse bag, and this is the Spoiled Bunny Stomp Scarf from the Cerebelle scarf pattern. And I love we're gonna have to start a thread for the Cerebelles because I think Rena could keep it up just by herself.
Yeah.
But this is my pattern. I wish I could get a hold of Sarah's.
It's not your pattern. It's your.
I know it's not.
You said this is my pattern. That's why I just want to
make.
Yeah, you did. So I just want to make it clear that that's not your pattern.
No, I didn't mean to say pattern.
Yeah, that's why I was just making it clear because people can
no, it's not my pattern.
Could get confused.
Because I said I had to contact Sarah Sweetheart.
Yeah, and then right immediately after, this is my pattern. And I was like,
well, I meant to say project.
Yeah, that's all. That's why I just can't.
Don't be didactic.
Well, I don't want people to be confused.
Don't be didactic.
I want to be didactic.
I have to look up exactly what that means. This is Test Designer Yarns. Remember they said Myrtle May, don't be didactic, Myrtle May. That is a reference from a movie.
Oh, okay, I think I know which movie, yeah.
You should know it.
Harvey.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it means what I think it does. So
I think it means
almost like being literal.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up because this is actually supposed to be. Oh, never mind. That absolutely is not what that means.
What does it mean?
Okay, so didactic is intended to teach, particularly in having moral instruction as an ulterior motive, in the manner of a teacher, particularly so as to treat someone in a patronizing way.
Okay.
Slow-paced didactic lecturing.
Okay. Huh.
I
would never have gotten that out of usage.
No, I wouldn't have gotten that in the way that she used it.
No. Because usually I'm pretty good about pulling out a meaning if I hear it in a sentence or something. That's strange.
Huh.
It's your turn.
Oh, but you didn't actually show it. You just sort of talked about it. You just sort of kept it on your lap.
I pulled a Talia. This is Test Designer Yarns, and it has grown a little bit because the stitches are so large that I could probably stop it now if I wanted to, but I don't. I'll just keep going with it.
You want to use up the yarn.
Yeah, well, if I don't use the yarn, I might split it between us, and we can each use it for our blankets.
Right.
So.
My big blanket will probably be working on forever because I keep getting distracted with other projects.
Right. Well, mine is just sitting there. I'm going to have to go back to my notes so I know what I'm doing, and then go from there.
Which one?
The squares.
Yeah. When you're doing off Kay's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean Kay's crochet one.
Yep.
Okay, so for me next is in my. Let me reposition things a little bit because it's probably down at the bottom. There it is, of course, very bottom.
Got it?
Yeah, it's just gonna be repositioned. Hold on.
Don't knock everything over.
I won't. There it is.
The weather's been a little difficult this week.
Yes, it has.
Because we're old people.
Yep. Well, I mean, speak for yourself, but still.
I am speaking for myself.
There we go. So in my nice, soft, pink and brown Knitter's Magic bag is my Canary Song. I just had to pull up my notes to look at them. This is Comfort Yourself with Your Music. It's from Little Women Knits by Joanna Johnson. There we go. And yeah, this got some work. This is using Squash Blossom. And it's a Miss Babs yarn. And I have it. Is that the right direction? Yes, that is. Okay. So it's she called it a blanket sweater when I was talking to her.
Right.
And it's a side to side. So.
I still want to try that.
Whoops, I got to turn this around.
Eventually.
If you decide that sweaters aren't for you, I have a feeling that I'm going to end up knitting this one for you too.
I like sweaters. I don't know if I have a block for sweaters or I can do the crochet ones. I think the thing is I just don't feel comfortable fixing things.
And that could well be. I mean, that would be a huge mental barrier if you don't feel like you can fix something. And really, you'd have to do some sort of something along here because they hold stitches, so you can't just make it you'd have to bind off or something instead.
Right.
If you couldn't do an afterthought, oh, I'm changing my mind. It'd be a lot harder.
Right. You'd have to just bind it off. To make it a vest.
Yeah, you'd have to decide ahead of time that that's what you're doing. But you do have to pay a bit of attention to the chart.
The lace,
yeah.
That makes sense.
It's not hard, it's just you do have to pay attention. Eventually you get in the rhythm of it.
Sure.
But yeah, enjoying this. I look forward to when I get to the next armhole because that means I'm very close to having it.
Joanna Johnson's patterns are kind of like 1054 for me. Studio 1054, whatever it's called, with the blankets. I love her patterns. A lot of her patterns. I just haven't finished one yet. I just, it's nothing to do with them. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, you only started knitting Joanna Johnson though fairly recently, so that probably has something to do with it. I know that her platypus is just sort of sitting there.
My platypus. Well, so is my horse.
And part of it is because I think right now toys require too much thought. There's a lot more increases and decreases in a toy, so you have to pay a lot more attention. Whereas I just don't have that focus level.
Right.
With with the sweaters and shawls, even if there are decreases, increases, whatever, they tend to be pretty rhythmic. They tend to be
the rhythm.
They don't. It's just easier to do if you're not quite with it.
Right. You have to do one more.
Oh, okay.
'Cause you only did one, right?
Yeah. Didn't even think about that.
Because you had 10?
Yeah. So next one will be Lake of Shining Waters.
Another Joanna Johnson, right?
Yes. So this is in my Silver Shed USA Kitties in the News bag. And let's see. I know there's at least one small story in here. You know, if I turn them just right.
You might be pretty well.
Yeah, I might be almost through all the stories. Like for some of them, I might only be able to see the headline.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if. Yeah, I can't see this whole story for it, but basically, this cat makes me look like she's being Zsa Zsa or Ava Gabor, and it says fashion feline seeks damages. And I can only see part of the story. Sally Snowcat is upset. It's a cat-eat-dog world out there, she explains. Her spring fashion line was recently photographed for Catsmetropolitan in an exceptionally large rag doll, and the lines were ruined. I'm guessing it says she complained, but that's where the sew line is, so I can't see the rest of the story.
Right.
But she kind of looks like she's like Zsa Zsa Gabor.
We have to ask Anne if she has any more of that fabric. You have these stories and we can't read the finish of it.
Yes. How does it end?
How does it end?
So yeah,
Oops, I didn't end my stitch.
this one is a good one for like if you're trying to read a book and you just want to knit.
Yeah.
And it's always hard to tell progress on it because it curls.
Right. I had to do some on that. I'm sitting there, and it's so dark that I have to be in here basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could pull that lamp out, but then I can't pay attention because I got a movie going or whatever.
Right.
So, you know, just perfect storm has not occurred. So let me just finish the stitch.
This got some work, and actually I'm going to leave this
here.
right here in case I want to work on it.
Let's see. All right, let me not pull the stitch here. All right. There. Okay, my next one, put this one away, is, oh, my notes went dark. I know I just charged this, so it should be fine.
Oh, it just said it's saving battery.
Yeah. Okay, my next one is in my, oh, okay, let me just, I'm getting cold now because apparently my temperature doesn't want to stay put. In my Knitter's Magic Lavender Flowers on a Dark Field. I think this is a black. I don't think it's navy blue. This is a really soft bag. This is my Welcome Little One project from the On the Porch Blanket knitting pattern by 5410 Studio. And Talia last week I showed you that she had she picked up all the stitches and she just got rid of the ones I didn't need. So I don't have the mistake anymore. I'm sure I'll be quite talented and get more mistakes, but here you go. It's I'm trying to pay real attention to it. It's not hard. I just misread what I had on the pattern because of the way it was divided when I rewrote my notes. So now I know what I'm doing and it'll be fine. I'm enjoying this. This is fun. I actually wanted to work on this.
Oh, that's good.
It is a little heavy, so I have to make sure I'm inside. You know, because if I'm outside, it's too hot. And the yarn is.
You don't usually knit outside, do you?
I have on occasion.
I wouldn't choose white for that anyway.
No, this is my yarn in Bare Necessities, and it's a bulky yarn or chunky. I always get mixed up which one is which.
I think I probably only have one more where I do too.
Okay.
This one. Okay, so in my, there we go, I need to purl instead of knit. There we go.
I seem to lose my pen. Got my pen.
Your pen went away?
It's my purple pen.
Did you put it in a bag?
I might have.
Oh, Mom, it's right there.
Oh. Here's where it is. Because that's where I normally put it. So why would I not look there?
So in my Silver Shed USA Bat Signal bag is the Puget Sound. It's a Fundamental Men's pullover for Dad, and I use Cascade 220 in the colorway Puget Sound. So, and this is the worsted Cascade 220, because apparently there's a DK one out there now. It's hard to find this colorway in this weight now, because I looked. Thankfully I have enough yarn.
But this tea really does, the more you sit, the better it tastes.
So I'm getting there for...
It's curling, so it looks really narrow.
Yeah, it's...
There we go. You can see
and this is the back.
The sleeves there.
I'm getting close.
That's pretty. That's going to look really nice.
To when I can then just do the shoulder part, but I always forget how much space, especially for Guy, is needed. Because it looks like a massive amount of space, but...
Oh, guys are good. You know, guys are bigger than we are.
And they're more shoulder usually, so... it's been a while since I've knitted a Guy's sweater, and also the only time I've knitted a Guy's sweater, it was in the round, so it's a very different experience.
And Grandpa's small.
No. So, yeah, like I said, just want to make sure I showed it. This is all stockinette, which is why it's curling so much.
Miles and miles of stockinette before you sleep.
So, this is another good one. If you're not at the point where you need to measure something, it's another good one just to go mindlessly.
Yep.
And you get quite a bit of progress because it's thin. Of course, when you get done with this part, then you just start a whole nother piece, and it's just like...
Okay. My next one is in my Kickapoo Owls Christmas owl bag, holiday owl bag. And this one is the Monkey Brain Preemie Hat project. Now, I kept it in because I wanted to show you that I did work on it. I have decided that cotton is not stretchy enough to work on a loom. There's no mistake in here. I'm not enjoying it because it's not stretching enough to bring over, to pull over the and when I do have enough stretch to do it, it's too loose. So I seem to remember doing this before on a with a loom triangle cotton and not liking it. So I'm not sure why I did it again. I think because it was right to hand. I just went, you know. Yeah. So this is going to be pulled out. Not because I don't like doing the hat. I like doing the hat, just because it's not stretchy enough. For some reason, I can't get the tension right, or maybe it's just that cotton yarn doesn't stretch and it's not really good for this loom. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out.
Yay. So next for me is in my Silver Shed USA Oops, there's a bunny bag. Tea. Oh, are you out?
No, not yet. Oh. I can only think about one thing at a time. I don't multitask right now.
So these are my Royal House socks. It's the Dance All Night socks pattern, and
that's the pattern I want you to make when I get Laura's yarn.
Well, it's a nice comfy pattern. It's by Fiddle Knits.
That makes me giggle.
And I am, it's like sunk to the bottom. There we go. I just switched over to DPN to do the heel flap because I have always been primarily for socks a DPN knitter. Every once in a while, if I have just a bunch of round, sometimes I do magic loop. But if I do anything like a heel flap, I go back to DPNs because I'm just more comfortable that way.
Right. I'm looking forward to trying. I was looking for a pattern. I was looking for yarn for a pattern to try your magic loop tutorial. Oh, good. But I couldn't find a pattern that I wanted to do that had a yarn. I didn't want to do the fingering weight. Right. So.
I feel I know Kay has at least.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the Cozy Up Knits fits the whole fam, but I was trying to figure out what 3 held together was. I think it ended up being a chunky.
What about? They were like slipper socks things that I thought that Megan.
Oh, I remember that.
You probably have to magic loop for that, and it's a quick little project.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
That might be a good one. I'm pretty sure it was a heavier weight yarn.
And also, there's that, and there's also the ones that Cozy Up Knits mom does. JoJo.
I don't know what
she does. She does something or other as well.
Yeah, because it's been a very, very long time since I've watched them.
I have to talk. I'm going to talk to Jamie and say, can you do it just in the heavier yarn so I don't have to kind of break my brain trying to figure out what yarn you're using?
So, I've done the heel turn, and the next step for me is to pick up the gusset. And then I can just go along the foot. And yeah, so this is the first sock so far. Because both of the socks I had in this, I had gotten holes in it and had dumped a long time ago. So,
Pooped it all.
this is my replacement in this design. What did you do?
I just can't get this knot out. It's not.
Just cut it.
I don't want it to be stuck on there
Yeah.
because then I can't use it.
Gush,
to,
gush.
Okay. Thank you. All right, my next one is in my Mama C large owls bag, because as everyone who watches our podcast knows, I don't have any owl bags.
None whatsoever.
This is my owl bag that Christina gave me. She gave me, I now have this one, which is large, and a smaller one. I have a set, like luggage. I absolutely love it. It makes me so happy. And she also sent me a little set of hot pads that has this. It makes me very happy. Christina spoils me rotten. Spoils all of us rotten.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay, so this, thank you very much. This is my bag and wrap from the Burrow Wrap pattern by K.F. Jones. I love this pattern. I don't do a lot of work on it because for some reason I just couldn't focus on anything this week. And you'll see why later in the podcast, part of what took my focus.
But also, you don't brain.
But no brain. I mean, it's just, I would sit there and like, oh, I should be knitting.
We've had weather.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. So I did make some progress on this. I really like this pattern. I mean, right now, it's very simple. And, I mean, extremely simple. If you know how to hold 2 needles and knit, just knit stitch, you can do this part of the pattern. It's just, I really like it. The yarn works, does all the work for this particular part of the pattern. And I'm looking forward to going to the next section. I think part of the reason it's taking so long is I'm not working on it.
Well, yeah, that would do it.
And because the yarn is a DK, I think it's, let me see, I'm using Dragonfly Fibers. Yeah, Dragonfly Fibers and Kelpie, and some stash yarn that I think is Miss Babs. And the needles are Chow Gu Red Lace Circulars, which are my favorite. These are size 7s. And that seems to be when Kay does projects that are larger, she seems to like her 7s. She seems to like her 7s. And I can do 7s. 7s don't bother me too much. I don't like doing much smaller than maybe a 5. Although I had a pattern of hers for a while on 4s. Because if I like something of Kay's and I want to do it, I'll go ahead and do the needle she says. Unless I decide it's not gauge sensitive or size sensitive, like maybe it's a stole or something, then I have no problem going up yarn and going up needles, because darn it, I want to do it, but I don't want to do the small needles, because unlike crochet hooks, you can't make what you hold larger for your hands, and my hands sometimes seize up, so I don't want to do too small. But this is fun. I'm enjoying it. I love Kay's patterns very, very much.
Okay, so next for me is my Embers cardigan project, and the pattern is called the Calligraphy Cardigan by Hannah Fettig. I think I've usually heard her pronounce Fettig.
Fettig, yeah. I think that's how she says it.
Fettig.
I think it's Fettig.
So she has me start with the collar, because it's one of those shawl collars. And I'm using some Miss Babs in the colorway. So I ended up taking out a shawl, so I had enough yarn.
There you go.
Oh, looks like I lost the ball band. Should be in here somewhere.
Looks like fire.
Well, it's not what it's called.
No, it's not. But
there it is. It's called Wanna Go Crazy. And I picked up all these skeins at one time.
I'm not sure why she calls it that.
Yeah, because it looks like it's part of, it's like when you have a bonfire, like
embers or something.
Yeah, embers from the bonfire.
Yeah.
Like when you have, I picture like at night when you have what they used to call them. I don't think they just call them bonfires. They called them. Anyway, in college, you'd just have like you'd hang out around basically a bonfire.
Yeah.
But
Well, even a campfire, you put your marshmallows over the embers, and
But I always picture it in the dark because
of course, we used to camp and we do stuff over the bonfires, the campfire. A campfire might be a little more dark because you have more of the wood and stuff showing in proportion to the flame.
And also there's a lot more of a fire.
It reminds me of the big bonfire during Guy Fawkes Day in England.
So yeah, that's a shawl collar. It's just a lot of ribbing right now.
Yeah. Pretty. Is it side to side?
No. This is shawl collar.
Yeah, but it doesn't look big enough.
Once it's attached to something,
right? Okay, gotcha.
It's
okay. It's just not coming down this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you look at the picture,
And what pattern is this?
This is the calligraphy.
Oh, the calligraphy, right?
Because I think they had me pick up stitches along the side.
Gotcha. Right.
You can tell by looking at it that this part is the back, and then later on, it appears like when you pick up to do the button band, you also pick up along the collar, which makes it that much wider.
Right.
So
that's a pretty sweater.
It is. I wanted to make this a couple times. Initially, I was going to do it in black.
I'm not sure how that would. I mean, if it was plain black, it would be fine.
It was plain black.
Yeah.
It was a Miss Babs black, and that was my original plan. But this is going to be really pretty in it.
I'm not really much for variegated, but that looks nice.
It does. Like, I was actually really surprised by how much I like this. And it'll work with orange, it'll work with yellow, it'll work with red, it'll work with brown. Yeah, so this will go with a lot of things I tend to wear. It's a good color choice for my wardrobe without looking ridiculous.
Right. Okay. And my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay, this is the Stormy Weather project from the Fundamental Woman's Pullover pattern by Jen Hagen Designs on Lovecraft, and it's in my Knitting's My Bag Morning Sarah bag. I know I worked on this. I'm not sure how. Oh, I guess I did a fair amount. It's starting to. You can start seeing the stitches here for the. What you saw on Talia's. The male version of this.
Right. They might not have seen it terribly closely because mine was so much.
Because the screen is so
and
dark,
I have my things on.
I can't see if you can see it, but you can see that it's starting with the stockinette up here. And this is fun because I just have to make sure that I've got the right row, which is why I have it marked. And once I know it is, because I don't have to measure, I just have to measure it when it gets to a certain point.
Right, and you have quite a while to go.
And I have quite a while to go. So I love this color. The silver gray for this is almost, it's the slate that I like so much from Miss Babs, and it really has a purplish undertone. I'm not a purple girl, but it's more of a periwinkle, which kind of has a blue in it.
I think that's going to be a nice comfy pullover for you.
Yeah, I think so, and I'm hoping that I'm able to finish. It puts a lot of pressure on me to do this, but I'd like to have it for retreat. I won't. I won't have it for retreat unless I sit down and do this only.
Now, the good thing for you is that the sleeves will be flat, most likely.
Yes.
So you'll be seeing that.
I'm just hoping that my gauges remain the same.
Well, you could put them against each other, and you'll be able to tell.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing. This is really pretty. I just need to sit down and do it. I've had serious project ADD and lack of focus. I'm like, oh, butterfly. Oh, I want to talk to so and so. Oh, I need to do this. Interspersed with other things that come up at life, for life. So that's that.
Okay, so back to my show notes. Okay, so in my TARDIS Bigger on the Inside bag by Ploverbird, this is Inkheart, and the pattern name is Dobbinwood. This is by K.F. Jones of Baker Bears fame.
My Dobbinwood.
Just a little bit more on the.
I love that. I'm gonna love that. I can't wait to have that. That is just awesome.
I think I only did a couple rows on this.
Look how pretty that is. Is that not my colors?
It's very much your colors.
Is that not right?
As this is happened with every single one of these I've knit, where it'll curl
right
there, and I need to block mine once I realize that I'm not making another one. And I do have something to wear now in replacement. I just need to wait till I'm sure we have a nice spot clear.
That reminds me why my favorite color is blue. People right now probably think my favorite color is green. My favorite color is blue. And that's why. I mean, just look at that. I mean,
Although I think you would love it just as much if it was in shades of green.
I would. Shades or teals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yes, I'm a cool color person.
Whereas I'm a warm color person.
Oof. Okay, let me put this aside for a second. My turn? Oh, hey. Okay, this is in my Silvershed USA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bag, and I did a little work on this. This is my Arwen's hooded cowl from Thorne's hooded cowl pattern by Fonora.
I'm not sure.
Fonora.
I actually haven't really looked at her name.
I don't know.
It's a free pattern.
And I'm using Chow Gu Red Lace Circulars US 10 and Miss Babs Yowza in the blue slate. Okay, colorway.
And you're doing version 2, right?
Yeah, I hope I didn't lose any stitches here. Hold on. I need to get my... No, I didn't. There's my... Okay. I need to use the other kind of...
Yeah, because that's bad.
Yeah. So...
I can't think of the last time I used one. Hang on, let me see what's going on here.
I don't know if I lost a stitch or not.
No, it just looks like it's a little loose.
Yeah.
Once you knit it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just... What happens is when it pulls apart, it makes it seem looser. But you need a...
I need to use a metal
yeah,
thing
that's
for this.
because I can't believe how long we worked with those things because they come off like crazy.
But this is the color, and I hope you can see it better.
You're showing the wrong side.
It doesn't really matter.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Because it does.
It does not, in fact. This is all caught now. This is the way I'm going because I'm purling, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is just going round and round and round. Ty got me started with the joining because I just didn't want to do it again and find that I had twisted it.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like it's still twisted, but...
No, it's not, though.
Yeah, okay.
It's just that it's the way that... Yes, see, look, it's not twisted.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this is the thing that Ty wears. It's the first one she made. Is it the one you're making currently, too?
Yes, I do have one that's version 2 going right now.
So this is the version 2 of it. And I did some work on it, but not a whole lot. I like this. It's fun. Once Ty got me started, it's fun because it just goes round and round and round and round.
Right. You don't have anything different until you get to the actual hood. And then, honestly, it's not hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just have to pay attention to the point. I'm looking forward to having this. I generally don't wear a lot of hoods, but this is cute. And I've always liked the kind of medieval-y kind of
Yeah, and if you
hoods.
want it more voluminous, you would do the version where you can do a bit of a wider hood.
Does it say there how to do
Oh,
it?
yeah, it does.
Okay, good.
It tells you at the very beginning how many stitches you
Oh,
would.
well, I don't know if I did that or not.
Oh, no, you don't worry about it until you get to that point. You have the same number of stitches in the cowl area, and then you just choose how many you bind off.
Because I like the way your bigger hood kind of
falls.
But yeah, so that's this one. I had to make sure I find a couple of metal thingy bobbers to... Yes, that's a technical term. They are called thingy bobbers. To make sure I don't lose my stitches.
Right.
Because it keeps falling off. Because I think that it's not quite big enough for those needles.
Mm-hmm.
Now what have I done here? Okay, there we go.
There you go.
So that takes care of that. Anne Brody is amazing. This is one of her bags, and I love her. Okay.
Alrighty, so next for me, my show notes, there we go. Excuse me. Is the Lothlorien hood. This is in my smaller plover bird tart-eye, bigger on the inside. And this is, like I said, my Lothlorien hood, which is another Thorne's cowl. It's also version 2.
Oh, so the red one's not? This is...
Red one is version 3.
Okay.
And then the one I made Davina is version 4. Next one I make will have to be version 1 because that's the only one I haven't knit.
I wonder why we gravitated toward 2.
It's a longer
Right.
cowl section.
I like the longer.
But it's not terribly much longer.
On Davina it looks longer. She's so small.
Davina doesn't have the longer one. She's version 4.
She's version 4?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Because hers is the
Oh, that's
one
right.
with lace.
Hers goes, yeah. All right. Do you have something to say about that?
I didn't have a whole lot to say. I can try to waffle a bit.
Just a little bit.
If you make it fast.
No.
So yeah, this is really pretty. This is Mips Babs Yowza. The colorway is Berlin, and it's got like greens, got a little bit of blue. It looks like the blue from like Zing, but there's a little bit of purple in there, like spots of purple, spot of orange, greeny brown, some gray. It's just a nice, it just gives a feeling of like a forest kind of feel. And this will go with, I happen to wear greens and blues. I mean, eventually I might make one that is in Zing, but I also want to make a lighter weight one for when I still need to block light, but it's like summertime and I'm at church or something. So because I use these hoods to block off light, I don't have one that matches this outfit. I mean, I guess I could do it with this one, but that doesn't do as well. Actually, I'm going to leave this up and see if Mom notices. So yeah, but she's talking about dyeing one in sport weight for me so that I have a lighter weight one. And we're thinking of a really pretty brown for that. So.
Pennies from Heaven's Copper.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, my last one. See, I told you I'll be fast. In my Silver Shed USA green Star Wars bag. This is an old bag. I think Talia got it for me.
I can't remember.
I don't remember. Maybe I got it for myself. This is another Surabel.
Or I could have picked it up for Davina to give to you.
Right. This is the Mad Hatter cowl from the Surabel pattern by Sarah Sweethearts, and this is Miss Babs Yowza in the Mad Hatter colorway. I'm using a J hook, and I just started this one this month because when Talia and I traded yarns, this is what I got, and the only thing I can think would look good in this yarn for me is.
Well, honestly, I wasn't sure what I was gonna do a Thorns cowl, and I'm glad you suggested otherwise.
Yeah, and honestly, even though this is really bright, I love this colorway. I just don't think I can wear a lot of stuff except socks in it. Now, honestly, though, I might keep this as a cowl if I wear black or something.
That would be really nice with the black.
Yeah,
it would be a pop of color.
It would be a pop of color for it.
Be nice under a coat.
Under a coat or something. So I'm not sure this one's going to go anywhere. It kind of matches my socks.
Well, as long as you match your socks.
Well, you gotta match your socks. You gotta be matchy-matchy. I mean, you know, poor Dawn, she gets teased all the time with that. I don't know if Wolf Farm still does their podcast.
I don't even think they have the store anymore.
No, they don't. They haven't had the store for years. But
which is sad.
Yeah, because I love theirs is the only lotion that I think really works for me, and I can't find it anymore, which makes me
I probably would be able to actually handle some of her
yes, because
stuff.
She's completely hypoallergenic.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, this is another Surabel, just because it's what I do, apparently. And this has been years going on that I do this pattern. I just love this pattern. It makes me happy.
Well, I was doing that with Diana's hats for a while, where it's like I'd finish one, I'd start the next one, did that with Zuzu's petals for a while, too.
But I started this with one or the other of those, and while you started
with the Zuzus because that was the first one for me.
Yeah. So I haven't really given it much of a rest. I mean, I still do it, but yeah, I like I said, I really wish I could find this lady because I just think that she should know how incredibly happy this makes people. Because
she means find her online, not that she wants to go and creep on her or something.
No.
Yeah, just that make that.
And I honestly don't fangirl that much, so I just want to let her know how much I appreciate her pattern. It's a nice pattern, and that many people are doing it.
Right, that she has an idea that other people are liking her pattern.
Yeah.
But excuse me.
That was my last one, so I hope you.
I have a couple. I'm at the end with two. I think you jumped it in when I was going to do two, and then I forgot to do something about it.
Well, no, because you said that you had only one left.
That was supposed to be the one where I did two.
Yeah, I thought you did your second one.
No, I didn't. And then I forgot about it.
Okay, well, it doesn't really matter.
No, it's not a problem to do two now. That just means you get to crochet on that longer.
Yep.
There we go. So, and this has really been kind of what I've wanted to work on.
Well, before you get started, you know I'm going to think of this now? it's Mad Hatter, right?
Mhm.
You remember the Alice I like so much?
Yeah.
The guy, it's called Alice, and it stars two people I don't know very well, but the woman who plays the mother of Alice was in Stargate as a doctor. That's the one I'm talking about. This reminds me of Hatter. He doesn't wear this color, but I like his character so much that this is what I think.
Because the Johnny Depp one wears more of that color, I think.
Oh, don't even get me started with that one. No.
Although she did die that before that movie.
Yes.
Okay, so in my soft brown Knitter's Magic bag, this is kind of what I've been wanting to work on. It's part of because it grows quickly.
Right, that's, yeah.
This is a Quicksilver sweater, and it is the Hillcrest coat by Amy Miller. It's for
You must spin.
Um,
Is that for Christmas, or is it whenever
it's whenever whichever
happens?
happens first that this is done for. Like, it's gonna be either a mix.
Okay.
It's supposed to be for multiple things. So like when I give it to her, it'll be like, this is your mixture of. If it happens to be Christmas, it'll be like, this
Right.
is your Christmas
And
birthday.
And that way, if you get something small, she'll be surprised. But
Yeah.
and if not, then she knows.
Yeah, because, but, so it's bulky weight, and I forgot how much I enjoy working cables.
I like cables.
I also forgot how small she is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I think I pick up a little bit for the zipper go
Right.
along here, and I also have to pick up the collar.
Right. Well, it means a little bit.
Yeah.
She's only 5'1".
So, there's the back, which is doing it very nicely. I was afraid at first this would be too dark. And then this is along where the zipper's going to be.
I think it actually matches one of his uniforms in the movie.
They must darken it then, because he's not usually quite this dark.
Well, you know how they do things in the movies.
Yeah. But yeah, this is very soft yarn. It's Knit Picks.
Knit Picks has some nice yarn. This isn't baby alpaca, is it? No.
Oh, heck no. This is, I think they're Swish Bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Swish Bulky.
That's a good yarn.
I have one more skein before I have to worry about winding up more, so. Yeah, and it just works up really quickly. It's nice to work with. It's really has good definition for the cables in spite of the dark yarn. So I'm very happy with it so far. This is a nice pattern to follow.
Yeah, we're hoping that she will not fight me so much when I want her to wear.
That's part of why I'm making this, because she will fight because it's not fashionable, whatever. But because this is gray and I'm calling it Quicksilver, and she's been wanting me to make her cabled sweater forever because she thinks they're fashionable. So this will be her very own cable sweater.
Yeah, she likes that kind of stuff.
It has some shaping, not quite as much as this one here, and doesn't have the cables all over like this one here. But
She'll like it.
yeah, I think she'll like it. She'll like the fact that it's a zipper. So there's that one, and then I have one last one to show. So it's also a frog, because I frogged the...
Right.
Oh, you don't know about this.
I thought you showed it to me.
You don't know about this one.
Okay.
So I frogged the colorwork tunic for me, which is a tunic with Valdre's pattern, which is from hand knits from Norway. I was sitting there working on the Quicksilver one, on the Hillcrest coat. I'm like, I am really enjoying this. Why do I not knit more sweaters with cables? And I haven't really been enjoying knitting. I have a lot of things where I have stockinette in it, and I'm not completely sure how often I would wear this, because it is only a tunic, but it's got colorwork and it's a worsted weight. That's going to be hot, and I'm just not sure that I wouldn't overheat.
Right.
So I tore that back. I think if I do a colorwork sweater, it's going to have to be fingering weight. I just overheat too easily.
Right. Or you could do a cardigan.
Or I can do that requires steeking.
Can't you figure out a way to do it without steeking? Can't you do it?
Well,
in
you
pieces?
can do it. Well, colorwork isn't traditionally done flat, because then you have to carry your flow to the front.
You'd almost have to do mosaic to do a colorwork sweater.
And that's not really. I don't prefer mosaic for
Right.
that.
No, I get that.
And again, it's a heavier fabric.
Well, if you did it, in fingering detail.
Yeah, it's just not my preference. I like mosaic for dishcloths, and I think they're pretty in shawls. I don't like it for a sweater
You
personally.
don't have to like it. You don't have to explain.
So in my PHN red bag, PHN Faces bag, I went ahead through my pattern stash on my Google Drive, and I decided to cast on the Granville by Fiona Ellis. I'm calling this
That's
Frozen.
Today. Yeah.
Yeah, that was printing out. I'm calling it Frozen. The colorway is Frosty Blue, and it is shepherd's wool, and shepherd's wool is so soft.
Yeah, it's very soft. Shepherd's wool always surprises me because I don't expect a non-superwash to be soft.
And I actually was surprised this is not in the round. This is in pieces.
Oh, is it? That's interesting.
So there's one view, but here is probably a better. There's the cables in the back, and I'll show you in a second.
Did you get that off the Lovecraft?
Oh no, I've had this a while.
Okay.
I had this before I left Ravelry. I just didn't.
That's really pretty.
And I'll show you a little bit better, Mom, in a second. Okay, so here you can see you have the cable in the back, and you have it along the sleeves, along the shoulder like that.
That's really pretty.
And then the hood.
Are you gonna lengthen the sleeve?
I'll have to see if I need to.
Well, that's really pretty. But that cable on the hood is nice.
Yes, it is. And this is I was kind of iffy on what size to do because for one thing, I had a limited amount of yarn. I would have barely had enough for the larger two sizes I was looking at. It was either go with a 35 3/4 or go with a 38 3/4. And 38 3/4, that was just going to be too big. I feel fine with the 38, but we go 38 3/4. It's a little too close to 39. And I'm just not that size. I'm actually at 36. I just like a little more space, but not that much space. So with 35 3/4, I did my gauge swatch, and with the 7, which is what the pattern calls for, I was just a little too tight. I got about 3.5 to. I got for the 20 stitches. I got about 3.5 to 3 3/4 of an inch when you're supposed to get 4 inches for that. And I got like for the same amount of stitches, the 20 stitches, I got about on US 8s. I got about 4 1/4.
So I'll give you a little more space.
That was my thought process. I'm like, okay, I'll give me a little more space, and also it tends to stretch. And my concern is if I did the 38 3/4, not only would I risk running out of yarn. I mean, this one I can get again. This is not a hard yarn to get. But not only would I risk running out of yarn, but if it stretches at the 38 3/4, it could end up being quite a bit too big for me. Whereas if this stretches with wear and tear, because I'm pretty sure I did a 36 or a 34 for this one I'm wearing now, the Vivian. By Soft Teague. So I went ahead and went with my gut and with the 35 3/4 and the US 8. So let's show you the actual project.
You go pretty far.
And this is the left front.
Is it top down or top down?
No,
It's actually that front and that's interesting.
it is flat. I've never done one where it's in pieces for a cable sweater. I mean, they even have like the construction. The hood is something I've never seen before, so I'm really interested. So this is the cable that'll be along the zipper pull, and this will be nice because I don't have a blue cable sweater.
Right.
I'll have several blue sweaters actually, because I'll have the big, bulky Jane Richmond sweater,
Right.
which is acrylic. And acrylic actually, weirdly enough, doesn't tend to be very warm.
Yeah, I don't think it has the I don't think it breathes this well, or so. I don't know. It doesn't maybe cling.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
No,
And it might be that maybe it's a loose, whatever one I'm thinking of, because the red one's acrylic, and that keeps me pretty warm.
Does it?
Maybe it depends on how tight it is.
Could be.
Maybe the seat stitch isn't quite as tight, and
be.
maybe that's why the
Well,
blue one doesn't keep me as warm.
I'm wondering if most acrylics don't clean, the fibers don't clean together as much, and so keep the heat in.
Yeah. But you also hear that they also wick away if it's wool. or like it doesn't tend to, it's really weird like this. I've heard both ways that wool, it doesn't let you overheat, but it also doesn't, it keeps you from getting too cold.
Yeah, I don't have.
I've heard both for wool, which is kind of,
yeah.
I had to look into why. But this is along the zipper pull, and it's got this really pretty cable. Like, I've not actually done this cable in.
Well, that's pretty.
Yeah, because it's going to go all the way up, and then you saw the really pretty one for the hood.
Yeah, I like cables.
So this is really pretty. I'll have a couple blue sweaters. I have the bright royal blue one that I already have. It's the Jane Richmond really heavy one with the buttons. Mm-hmm. Then this one's going to be my cabled one with a zipper, and it's a slightly different blue. And then I have the one that I'm knitting here, which is a lighter weight. This is a DK weight. So I have a bulky weight, I have a worsted weight, and here's a DK weight. This one doesn't close, this one zips the bulky buttons. So I have a blue
different
for
styles,
every possible occasion. Eventually, I should cast on another red one. I mean, although this other one that I have here, the one I'm calling the Embers cardigan, does work with red. Mm-hmm. But if I want to have another pure red one, I would do another cabled one.
Pennies from heaven.
That's not red.
No, I know. I said you should have pennies from heaven.
Oh, yeah. I actually don't wear a ton of brown. Yeah. Usually if
That's not brown. It's copper.
Yeah, that's true. But because, and I have already an orange, what's it called? It's a burnt orange sweater. Again, acrylic, but...
acrylics are nice because you can just throw them in the wash.
Well, and this was right in the thick of my sweater making, and now as you can see, I'm getting back into the thick of it again, and I'm going through my stash and looking at ways I can reclaim yarn in order to make more sweaters.
Because it's not like she doesn't have a dyer in the house.
I try to use my stash first, though, particularly for sweaters.
Do you have enough of the mid-weight yarns to do that?
I'm starting to get to the point where I have one more. I have one or two more sweater quantities, possibly, and then I'm going to be running out of sweater quantities.
Right.
I need to go to. Let me.
And you're not leaving me anything to talk about.
Fiddlesticks.
Let's go. I'll figure something out.
Can you talk about? Well, it's an acquisition.
No, just go.
I'm so sorry. Tea. I can't go around the front. I'll knock stuff over.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Don't knock anything over.
I'm trying to not step on anything over there. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff over here.
Okay.
I'll try to...
Now, I don't have a whole lot to talk about when she's sitting there, so I'm not really good with waffling just to waffle. But we were talking about the pennies from heaven, and I got that... when I got the mega skeins, the great big worsted weight and the great big sport weight, I haven't done anything with the sport weight yet. But Taya had been mentioning how she's going to do the Thorns cowl. I think that's what she was talking about when I was gone. The Thorns cowl in a lighter weight. So what I'm doing, and I don't know if she already said this to you, I'm going to use my pennies from heaven, and I'm going to try out that long sport weight yarn, because we're thinking that because it's lighter weight, it's going to need more yarn to get the same amount of fabric. So I'm going to do one of those long ones in the pennies from heaven colorway and see how that works out in the bigger skein. I'm not sure how much dye I'm going to have to use for that, because it is a bigger skein, and I don't remember my method. I have to check my notes because I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, so I don't know. I should just when she gets back here, I think I'm going to tease her a little bit about leaving me with nothing to say. But I guess I can make the announcement for the people who are doing our Zoom at this point, who are doing the Zoom, not the Zoom, the live stream. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it on the right date. I have to talk to Ty because she has a doctor's appointment coming up, and I'm not sure if that's the first. I think it's June 4th, so we might have to switch the live stream, but we'll let you know more about that during the podcast. It may be on a Thursday, so that we can don't run.
Okay.
I was talking about the fact that we might have to switch the podcast, not the podcast, the live stream?
Yeah, I've already set the warning on there that it's going to be moved to the week, not this coming week, but the week after, so it's still on Friday.
I told them I was going to tell you how inconsiderate you are to leave me with nothing to talk about. I at least leave you with a project.
Sorry,
to do.
I can't control when it comes.
So I talked a little about the big skein that I'm going to do for the pennies from heaven.
Big skein, little wool.
Yeah, but don't do that. Next time, plan it better.
There is no planning with it, unfortunately. Yeah. My body doesn't let planning happen. But sorry about that. So that was my newest add-on project. I'm actually kind of quite enjoying it, even though I'm intrigued to see how it goes. I know eventually I'm going to have to knit you a cabled one because you like cabled ones. But they also tend to be a little bit more complex to be the way that we like them. So even if it's something like the ones I'm knitting Davina me now, where it has a little bit by the either the button band or the zipper. You said you prefer buttons, and then either has a hood or
Like the
whatever,
shawl collar's cute.
or the shawl collar like Davina's has, and then the cables down the back. Because this one has the cables all over. It doesn't just have a big cable strip. But even if it's something where it has just the cable strip.
I'm usually pretty easygoing. I don't usually ask for stuff.
Now I know you have one that's being knit up, but when you gave someone some yarn to knit stuff, but
Yeah, I don't know what she's doing with that. I haven't asked her. So, because she's had a lot going on, I don't want her to feel stressed.
right,
And I feel awkward asking.
right.
So, I just don't want to do that. And let me finish the stitch. We can figure out where we're going now.
Oh, I can show my FO.
Oh, you have an FO?
Yeah, and because I already talked about the thing I frogged, so the FO would be next. So I finished, as I'm sure you guessed, the Balin's cowl, which is the Balin's hood, which is a Thorin's cowl. So I made, and it absolutely makes me look like Christmas. I made the wider hood for this one, and actually I do rather like it. I keep being of two minds whether I like the thinner one or the bigger one. I like the way the bigger one lands in the back. You don't end up having, the big thing pointing out. It kind of lands a little bit nicer. And it's just a more voluminous hood. And I can still bring it right over my eyes if I need to. And the whole idea behind all these is to have something to wear at church to kind of block off the light a little bit, but also not look like I'm just...
Let me see it. Could give me an idea if I want to do a bigger cowl or not.
A bigger hood.
Bigger hood. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I like it. That's good.
It does use up, a decent amount more yarn.
But I have 2 skeins of this.
Yeah. And like I said, I think I only had a partial skein of this because I had to take out the shawl I had in the same.
Yeah, I like the
color.
way this. Because
I've been in the process of taking out shawls I don't use if I need the yarn.
Because I wear my hair up a lot. This gives me a little more
Space.
So yeah, I like that. That looks nice. I'm gonna have to do this one.
So yeah, when you get to the point, now this is version
2.
3. No, this
Oh, 3?
is version 3 for the actual cowl part.
Okay.
Because the difference is with version 2, there's a little bit more changing to purls and knits and purls and knits.
Okay.
You've got big swatches of purl section
Okay.
and big swatches of knit section. It's a little more accordion-like.
Okay. Yeah.
And I really actually like this one. But I do want to try version 1 at some point because that's the only one I haven't knit. I'll probably always knit version 4 for Davina because I do want to do a sky blue one for her.
Yeah. I have to.
And I've been
I have to do that yarn
informed
too.
that I'm knitting this for somebody else as well.
Yes.
That they provide me the yarn to do so.
She said she would.
Yes.
Yes.
So
yes.
it'll probably be purple then.
It might be. Although, for her, yeah, it would be. So, yep.
So.
And what? That's DK weight, right? Yeah.
Well, it actually says worsted, or light worsted. They said basically do whatever yarn you want is it's going to change the
Fabric.
the fabric
And the amount of yarn. Like I
Yeah.
said, when I do the one that I'm dyeing up for her later on, that's a sport weight. So that's going to be more yarn.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see
I just
here.
want to hit up really quickly. I did have some beads and string. I didn't grab what I was working on. It's supposed to be a Father's Day gift, so when I hope to bring it next time. I just forgot to grab it.
Yeah. Because himself doesn't know about it. Okay.
I like only started it yesterday.
Yeah. Well, thankfully those go pretty fast.
Oh, they go very fast.
Okay.
And Father's Day we have quite a while.
Yeah, it's the 20th, I think.
Yeah, so I mean I
I
have.
think it's the first day of summer.
Might be. I figured I should get started now because of all the fatigue I've been having. Plus, I have someone who's interested in an order, so I need to maybe get this done before my special centerpieces come in, because they're shipped already. So my one supplier ships her stuff usually arrives pretty quickly. The one with the colored centerpieces.
I don't have any graphic novels, so are we moving into
So
shop?
yeah, that usually leads us into
Acquisitions or shop?
I think it's acquisitions.
Okay. Acquisitions.
I need to reach forward for mine.
Okay. Do you have a lot, or
I just have these two. Do you want me to go first?
you can do whatever you want? I don't
Let
care
me
which
just do
one.
this first.
Okay.
So, Brittany
B-Wing.
B-Wing was kind enough to send me a couple books she was clearing
Destashing,
out,
yeah.
destashing. I think the
I love this.
the cover of this is super cute. Yeah, isn't it cute?
Adorable. Let's look at the back. Oh, it's so cute.
For me, the biggest reason is I can get ideas. Not plagiarize, just get ideas. And it's actually really well set up for a beginner. If you look through this is actually, you can tell it's written for a beginner. It talks about bar increases. Mom, actually, you should really look at this.
I think I will.
I'm gonna let you hang on to this for a little while because this beginning part is really good. I think, and it's very visual. I think this beginning part would be very helpful for you. So easy pickup, like if you drop a stitch.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Talks about stocking blocking.
That's adorable.
Bobbles.
Yeah, I don't like bobbles either. But you could just make little stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm mostly here for the ideas, but I actually really like. This is really well set up.
It is. It's very well set up.
If I was a beginner knitter, for sure, I would be all over this thing. And it's really, here's an argyle.
I like Argyle. Look cute.
Oh,
the applique.
Yeah, I think it's stitched over it.
Yeah.
So there's
Kitchener.
talking about Kitchener. Very visual. They have different colors for the Kitchener. Like the front is green, the back is red, so you know.
That's really nice.
It's really well set up. So I am going to leave this where you can get to it, Mom, because I think that you might find this particularly helpful, because this is...
Well, you could. I can see it if I ever decided I wanted to do it. I can see it being transferable to things like socks.
Exactly. You could learn the basic skills.
And if it's pick up stitches and everything, it's good for other things too.
Yeah, exactly. So, hiding color, jogs, and stripes, I've never really cared. Joining new yarn. Trading places for making smooth, secure join. Increase. Make one left slant.
That's what I'm interested in.
So,
make ones.
Going
hate
around
them.
in the round.
I do
Here's
not
with
like
double
make ones.
points. Talking about tips with double points. Joy of color.
I guess Brittany knows how to do all this because I thought, boy, I wouldn't get rid of that.
So, anatomy of a sock.
Davina knows. Toes, heels, gusset.
So this is really, here's short
That's
talk.
fun. That's fun.
Yarns for felting, getting equipped. Yeah, I'm gonna let you hang on to this because I think that's gonna be very helpful. And then this one is knit mitts.
I feel like cozy up knits.
And this just has a bunch of mittens, mitts. You know, again, get ideas from it. Cute color work. Oh,
Taya, this lady. Oh, look at that face. Oh my gosh. Isn't she precious?
she is like the most precious.
Look at that face. Oh my gosh. Isn't she adorable?
She is. So yeah, there's a bunch of mitts and mittens and those kind of things. Definitely get some ideas off of this. Some better conception of construction.
I think that this lady, she has a whole set tie.
You might have to look into her other ones, Mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, very cool. Okay. Thank you, Brittany. And that's staying with Mom.
For the time being.
For the time being.
Now, I got 2 acquisitions. This one I can't really show you. I got contacted over at PHN. Somebody was interested in my mini skeins in the DK weight. And I found out I didn't have mini skeins in the DK weight, only fingering. So I got some 20-gram skeins of fingering. I think I got 2 packages of 25. And you will see popping up in the shop these in sets. I think they'll probably be just grab bag kind of things. Mm-hmm. But after I do hers. Mm-hmm. And this, my supplier, I ordered it in the morning, day before yesterday, and I got it yesterday. So it was really super fast. They are in Virginia, so that helps, but not necessarily given some of the people I've seen go ping, 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 ping. I was very impressed. I love my suppliers, and they've been working really hard.
Although, to be fair, it's not their fault when it goes ping, ping, ping.
No. That's I'm just saying that it got here.
Yeah.
I do love working with these people. They're wonderful. So that was one of my acquisitions. The other one was a surprise acquisition, and people on Zoom saw it yesterday. But Talia made this and decided
quite a while ago,
and she decided it wasn't fitting her right, or she wasn't wearing it.
Yeah, the mixture of the two, there's a little bit of gapping. I think I might have made it like just so it fit, mm-hmm. I figured that it would get more use out of Mom, or Mom would get a lot more use out of it, because I wear this one whenever I'm wearing green.
Mm-hmm. This, when I was showing it on Zoom, I found out either a moth got to it or something.
Laura said she didn't think it was a moth. She thought it was a tear. And it could have been. Right. It could have caught on my wheelchair or something when I was at work.
So Taya darned it for me. And
first time learning how to darn.
I can't even tell that there was a hole in it. I love this. I love the color. And it's a little shorter than most of my sweaters, but that's okay.
Right, because it was during a period of time where I was trying to do something apparently for my particular body shape. A higher sweater.
My favorite kind of sleeves.
Oh yeah, because I make them longer for me, so they're going to be super long for you.
I love this kind
of.
Now
there is a little bit of patterning, right there, very slight.
Yes, yes, it's very.
You
nice.
can see it on this side too.
Very nice. I love this length. I do. If I'm doing something, I will either roll mm-hmm. it up or pull it up. But I absolutely love this. I love the color. Yes, green.
And it's villainous colorway. You can't get dragonfly fire and villainous anymore.
No, you can't. So I'm going to leave this on for the time being.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little chilly.
You can even put the hood up if you want to.
I look like an elf.
You do.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, now, where are we going to shop or?
Yeah, shop.
Do you have anything for shop?
My sale's going to be ending soon for the rosaries for May. So once May is done, rosaries will go back on full price.
Right. I have a sale running right now. It started Friday. And it's 20% off. There's no code necessary. It is simply a Memorial Day sale. And everything in the shop, anything I put in between now and I think it's Monday. I think it goes through Monday. I'm not sure. It's a Memorial Day sale. All 20% off. I do have more skeins I hope to be putting into the shop. This is part of the reason why I didn't do as much crafting in terms of actual knitting and crocheting. I have all this yarn to put in the shop. Okay, and I have like 3 or 4 new colorways. Let me show the ones that aren't new. This one is Enchanted Peacock. Okay, and one of these is my Stardust colorway, and the Stardust base, and the other one's a regular fingering sock. They're both fingering sock, but one has sparkle and one doesn't. One of these may be taken. I have to get to the person who asked me about it and see if she still wants it. But they'll be in the shop. Let me see here. This is also an older colorway. This is, if it's not a horse, it might be a zebra. And
you just forgot to put it in the shop.
Yeah, I forgot to put it in the shop. It's been sitting on my shelf. This is a dysautonomia colorway. Then I have... These are circus peanuts. Do you guys know the candy Circus Peanuts? I know they have other colors now, but this is what I remember when I think of
They have
Circus
other
Peanuts.
colors now?
They do.
That's so weird.
So this is Circus Peanuts, and these two happen to be in fingering socks. So they're
So they're
462
supposed
yards.
to be that funky orange.
Yes,
That peanuts are absolutely not the color of.
Circus Peanuts.
Like pumpkin
It
orange.
actually makes me happy. I'm not a big orange person, but I like this color, and it's not like your straight up orange. This is a blend of colors, and it's
got a little depth to it.
got a little depth to it. You can see a little bit of, looks like a little bit of kind of yellowy orange and orange, and it's just, I like it. It's got some depth, and I think it would be really fun to make an accessory out of, or you know, or something, or socks.
It's a little bit, it's not the right orange for me, like to make a sweater out of. Someone else might be able to pull off that orange for sweater, but I think that the undertone to it is not the right undertone.
Well, it's more, you need more of a blue undertone. So these two will be going up in the shop as well. So 2 of these.
Because I tend to like it a little bit more towards the burnt orange end.
Now, these are going in the shop, but they're already taken. I can make them again. This is in my fingering sock, and this is Flying Purple People Eater.
So not available right now.
This is not available at the moment. I can redo it. I showed it to a certain person. They said, this is mine. And I said, okay. I really like this. It's really pretty. So I have 2 of these. They are taken, but if you want more, let me know and I'll see what I can do. And I can make it on all my bases that I have.
Versus the ones you don't have.
Versus the ones, well, I can make them on the ones I don't have. It just take longer. So, you know. So this is. I'm very grateful for that sale. This is going to have to go in the shop sooner rather than later,
So she can snag
so she can snag the sale. I would have given her the sale regardless because she bought it during the sale.
Right.
Okay. Or she put in her bid for it during the
Yeah.
sale. So, okay. So this one goes. Okay. Now, this is a fingering sock as well. Most of these are fingering sock. This is called Neverland. I had another name for it, but when it dried a little lighter than I expected, so this is called Neverland. It has kind of a turquoise undertone to it, which made me think of the lagoon that they had in Neverland. So it reminds me of the old Disney Peter Pan.
Oh, okay.
So the the lagoon and the woods and all the forest and all that kind
Well,
of
it's
stuff.
very green.
Yes, but it definitely has turquoise in here.
Well, I'm saying the that particular cartoon is very green.
Greens and blues. So this one, I only have 1 of these.
That's right. Wendy basically is always in blue, isn't she?
She is in blue. But I was also thinking about the lagoon itself, which is kind of blue. Now, I have 1 more. These are all repeatable thus far. This one is also repeatable. This is Fanghorn. And this is a fingering sock. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see the... Yeah, you can. See the difference, the different kind of gradations and stuff. It's not a flat colorway. I almost didn't want to put this one in the shop, except that it's fingering sock. This is really pretty.
You said it's repeatable.
It is repeatable. So I really, really like this one. Because what I was doing was trying to clear out my die stock, and so I kept notes on what I did, and this was one of those. And so was Neverland, actually.
Okay.
Actually, so was Circus Peanuts.
Okay.
I just had a lot of fun playing. Now the next ones are non-repeatables, or possibly repeatables, and they haven't been rescanned yet. Okay.
They're all in a similar feel.
Right.
They could almost be in a set together.
Yes. Now this, I could potentially do this one over again because it takes the exhausted dye stock of a different colorway.
Mm-hmm.
So all it is a lighter form of it. And I called this one, this is actually called Seafoam. So Seafoam. It has not yet been reskeined. It's kind of not quite a mint, and it goes into a very light, almost cream. So it gives me the idea of the foaming waves.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 2 of these, and they are fingering sock. Actually, they're on sparkle base.
You could have called it The Little Mermaid.
I could have, but I didn't want to. It didn't really remind me of the Little Mermaid.
Well, I meant like the one that turns into
right,
seafoam.
right, but
The Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah, but
Little
I
Mermaid.
didn't want to.
No, I know.
This one, a while. I've had this in my stash for dyeing yarn for a long, long time. One of our friends had asked me to dye something up for her in this kind of a base. It's one of those colored nap kind of things, and this has this kind of color as its base, but it's got the colored naps in it. And this is a DK. Don't what I'm trying to talk about.
It's pretty. It's just I don't care for nips.
So I don't know if you can see.
Because I actually have to sit there and resist the urge to pick out the nibs I'm seeing in there.
Can
right
you
now.
see these on the camera? I can't because it's too dark.
You probably can. I can't tell with my glasses.
It's like pops of color. Davina thought it looked like pistachio ice cream.
That's actually not a bad.
Not pistachio, mint ice cream. But the thing is, the naps are colored, so it wouldn't be with chocolate.
It would have to be like if you had ice cream with like they added some sort of sprinkles in there or something.
You could have like pistachio or mint ice cream with sprinkles.
Yeah.
But this is called Actually, I haven't got a name for this because I don't know if I can try to repeat it if somebody wants it. But it might be slightly different. These last 3 that I showed you are potentially repeatable, but they might be somewhat different. Now the next one is definitely non-repeatable. I just had to do too much gymnastics with the exhausted water and the different colors and stuff to get it, so I don't think I can do this one again exactly, but I might be able to get something close. Maybe in this base, because you can't tell, but it's actually different slightly. I could do it maybe in this base with this. But this is a blue speckle on it, and I've been practicing my speckles. So, can you see the speckles? I think you can.
Yeah, I can't tell with my glasses. I think they.
None of these last 4 have been reskeined yet, but I really like the way this turned out. Could almost be like a robin's egg or something, but robin's egg I think has brown speckles.
Yeah, I think it does.
So that takes care of this. That's all the yarn I have in my shop. I'm hoping to do more yarn dyeing. I have to do a couple special orders. And I have the sale that goes, I think it's till midnight going into Tuesday. So it'll be Tuesday morning. I think it's when it stops. I always get confused when they say it runs this to this.
I thought they have a time on there too.
It's midnight.
Okay.
Going into so if you want to have yarn, this is the time to get it from my shop if you want it. No pressure, of course, but if you have been waiting to do it, it's on sale now.
Yeah.
That takes care of that.
Alrighty, so next is that was supposed to be slip-slip, not an increase. Hold on. Leaning in the right direction, but it was an increase, not a decrease. There we go. That's probably what I was supposed to do. Okay, that leads us into reading and such.
Okay. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay, I basically am just reading the same things. I've been doing more listening to things, like my Hallow app and stuff like that, but I have read Mother Teresa. I have to read her today. And I'm almost finished with the Dragonbacks series by Timothy Zahn. I'm almost finished with the last book. And I'm almost finished with Murder in Belgravia. I will be replacing those 2 books, one with The Hobbit and the other one with an Agatha Christie.
We think it might be Miss Marple.
A Miss Marple. And I haven't done much with her yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. And
I'm really excited about you reading an Agatha Christie, and if you ever get around to doing Poirot, actually I think
I had The Hollows. I can read that one.
I think there's a sale on the very first one Mysterious Affair at Styles. All I had to find, because I think it was really expensive. I didn't have to worry about because I owned it already.
Right.
But
So I'm doing those, and still reading Jesus' Way, Truth, and Life, and Abandonment to Divine Providence, and The Divine Office for Dodos. So I've been doing that. I have to get my Concord out and read for our thing tomorrow, my thing tomorrow for the HFI. But other than that, that's pretty much what I'm doing. I've been listening to Poirot on YouTube, read by Hugh Fraser. He is my favorite person to read Poirot because he's very easy to listen to. He's got a very calming kind of voice, and he does manage to make other people's voices without making you sound creepy.
Yeah, he does a very good job.
He's got a good job with Poirot himself and with Jap, and he's just really good. I enjoy him.
And what I was showing to Mom, and I'm going to send it to her, is the very first Poirot, Mysterious Affair at Styles. If you look up Mysterious Affair at Styles Kindle, scroll down a little bit, there's a version of it that's for about 99 cents right now.
Right.
So, if you want to get introduced to Poirot and it's your first time with that character, I would recommend that. And Dad actually read that one first because that was my recommendation. He's like, even though I said it's not necessarily the one that is my favorite, I feel like if you are new to the character, he said he felt like it was a good way to meet the characters too.
Right. And this is my day to buy books like from BookBub and things like that. I've made it so I only do it once a week because otherwise Brittany will make me go broke.
And for me, because Agatha Christie is my I don't feel well reading. It doesn't require as much focus for me. It's very relaxing. I'm trying to hold off BookBub at all right now because I want to save up for some Agatha Christie's. Because, 99 cents here, $1 here, whatever, eventually makes it so I can't purchase the Agatha Christie's when they're full price. And there's a couple of my favorite ones that are full price.
I apologize. If you guys see me put my finger in my mouth like this, it's because my jaw is going out of whack and I'm trying to keep it in place. So I'm not like eating my finger or something. It just helps me to keep it in place.
Right. All right. I just sent you the first one, Mom.
Okay, thanks. You didn't buy it for me.
No.
Okay,
I sent you the link to the 99 cents
good.
one.
Okay, good.
Because, I feel like you need to take advantage of that sale, especially I think if you're going to start reading them, you need to start with the first one. Just because you really get a good flavor for Poirot and how everyone would have met Poirot back in Agatha Christie's time.
Right. Well, you need to
do mine,
do yours so we can close up because Dad's going to want to do Rosary Prison.
Okay. So, for me, sorry, my show notes closed completely when I went and found that for Mom. Because I'd seen that it was on sale when I was looking to see if there's any Agatha Christie's on sale earlier. Because I'm periodically checking, because if there's one on sale, that takes care of me for BookBub.
Right. Okay,
so I started and finished in less than 12 hours, Third Girl by Agatha Christie. Like I said, that it's my comfort reading.
That's the one in the apartment, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
They probably changed it completely for y'all. But was Mrs. Oliver in your version?
Probably, I think so, yes.
Okay, but knowing how they mess with the plots in the...
They generally keep the characters that are in there. They
add Miss Lemon a lot of times. Even though I had forgotten that she was in the books, but she's not in it nearly as much as, they put her in things that she wasn't in in the show.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm having trouble focusing. I read James L. Barioni, A Marvel of Our Times, Peace and Prayer, Wisdom for Teresa of Avila, and I've read The Fellowship of the Ring. I'm taking my time in Hobbiton. I don't think I've ever done that, where I've just really taken my time to just... I think in the past I used to always skim over the beginning where he talks about the different kinds of hobbits and how the hobbits got to the Shire, and really trying to give you a flavor of what their life is like and who they are. This time I'm taking my time, but it's definitely not something I can read if I'm completely brain dead. So that's why I needed have a large collection of Agatha Christie's to go through. I didn't bring it with me, but I have an old, they don't make them anymore. It's a book, really thin book, and it's a checklist where it tells, okay, here's all the titles of all the Agatha Christie's that she ever wrote, and it gives you a brief summary, tells you what film versions were out at that time. Obviously, it's not up to date. It's because I got it when I was in high school, maybe college. It has the different forms that you could possibly have the book in. This was pre-Kindle, so it doesn't have Kindle as an option. I had to write it in Kindle whenever I put down and have it on Kindle.
Have it in Kindle? Have it in Kindle? Have it in Kindle?
And, I mean, they have VHS as an option.
Not beta?
Or it might be cassette, I can't tell. Anyway, so it's an older book, and I don't, as far as I can tell, if you're getting something from this series, for lack of a better term, they're old. You're not going to find any current authors on there. But every single title breaks them into when they were written, when they're supposed to be set during, and basic plot, and if they have an alternate title. I'm not sure if I said that before.
Mm-mm.
And then, like I said, it'll break it into this. These are all Miss Marples, and they'll say, like, she wrote, I don't know, 12 Miss Marples, and I do know this number is why for Poirot, 33 full novels for Poirot, not counting all the short stories.
They made movies out of short stories too, because some of the ones I thought were books were actually short stories.
And that's probably why, because I haven't read every single short story that she ever wrote. And there's actually a few of the full-length novels I don't remember, either because I borrowed the book and just don't remember the plot, or I somehow missed it. I'm going to also read the Miss Marples, which I didn't read as much of them, because I want to basically read all of her murder mysteries. And yeah, just get a collection of those going to just cycle through. And in my book, I'm writing down whether or not I have it on Kindle, because I got rid of all my physical form just because it was taking up too much space, and I had a huge collection.
Right.
And it's just easier for me to read on Kindle right now.
It's funny though, you really do get an idea how put out Hastings gets. You don't get as much of that
Yes.
in Poirot in the movie, on the show and stuff like that.
In the book, he can
Oh
get
my
really
gosh.
huffy.
Yeah, well, they also play down Poirot's
Arrogance?
arrogance a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I love the way they come on. The little man.
Yes. Yes.
It's so funny. But anyway, so we better close this up because we're getting on 2 hours, and we need to. Do you want to say anything real quick before we do that, or do you have any life stuff?
Not really. I mean, just fatigue with all this weather and stuff. So, if things have been coming, like people who are waiting for the next section of Lady Susan in the Patreon, people who aren't aware, I've been reading. I read aloud. I still have to finish reading aloud. Lady Susan by Jane Austen, and I have to edit the videos, and I post about 2 letters at a time because it's an epistolary novel. And I just need to edit and post the next section. I know I'm getting pretty soon to the point where I should record more. I just haven't had the energy.
Right.
So.
And everything else is pretty much good to go here. I have to go to stuff that stems from your female exam stuff. Yay, But I do have to have an ultrasound done. Nothing to worry about, just getting it done, and figure out what's going on with that. And then I am getting pressured to do other things, so we'll see about when I do that. Things have to slow down a bit because I have other people to think about, and then I'll worry about that.
Remember, if you don't think about you, you can't take care of anyone
yes,
else.
but it also is, as you say in triage, the one who needs it the most gets done first. So, anyway, so that's basically it. I'm not being cryptic, honest, it's just nothing to worry about. Okay, now we do want to thank people who made comments. If I don't mention you, it's simply because you weren't there when I got my notes. I think I answered everybody. Again, if it didn't, it's just because you weren't there when I was answering people. So we want to thank Rena, Stephanie, Steph, Looney Hiker, Wendy, who is MacGyver, Karen, Grammy Knitterbug, Andrea, Brittany, and Gail. Thank you. Oh, yeah, that's it. Thank you very, very much for taking the time to comment. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We really appreciate it. As I said earlier, I believe our live stream will be on maybe Thursday, I think you said?
No, We had moved it to the week
After.
after, and it'll still be on Friday.
On Friday. Okay, so it'll be Friday 1 week later than it would have been. So not
Because
this.
otherwise it would have landed with my retreat. I'm not my retreat, my Enunciations meeting. I didn't want 2 Zooms
Right.
in one day.
Okay.
That would have been too much
So
for me.
so we will be doing it 1 week later. It won't be this coming Friday. It'll be the following Friday for the live stream. Okay. So we want to wish you all a very wonderful, blessed week. If you are celebrating Memorial Day, we wish you a wonderful Memorial Day, and we wish you a week full of knitting, crocheting, crafting, whatever makes your heart happy. And we hope to see you here next week for the Foon and the Woman Cave. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 456, and that's a wrap.
Bye.